Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of A Joyful Noise, our weekly live stream sing along by Santee UMC. I'm a music director, Kyle Rowan. Glad to have you here with us tonight, this evening. Um, this is episode 48, which means if they're a half hour long each, more or less, that means after today, we'll definitely have a day's worth of music. If you wanted to go back and watch all the way from number one till now, it'd take you 24 hours to get through all of these. So I think that's a pretty cool accomplishment that we've gotten to this point, and thank you for being with me for all of these over the years. Um, so. So this week we are going to have, yesterday was Earth Day, we're going to have a little bit of celebration of creation through a number of these hymn selections today, as well as continuing our celebration of Eastertide. We're on this Sunday is the fourth Sunday of the Easter season, and we'll be in that Easter season up until Pentecost. So we're going to open up with kind of an Eastery hymn today. This is, let's see. This is one that's a request from Midge Harder. So thank you, Midge, for sending this in. Where is it? Here we go. And so this is number 298, When I Survey the Wondrous Cross. This is a text by the great hymn writer Isaac Watts, and he was a pastor in England and wrote over 600 hymns. You'll see his name represented many times in our hymnal. He's a very well-known hymn writer from 1600s, and at the time when he became a pastor, a lot of the hymn singing tradition was that you sang the Psalms, and almost exclusively the Psalms. They might have been put into meter as opposed to a recitation, but they were still just the Psalms. And if not the Psalms, then sung specific passages of Scripture. Now, he believed that hymns should support the sermon and not exclusively use scripture quotes, but be kind of a way of providing an interpretation of the lesson and all of these kinds of things. So to do something more than just kind of be the Psalms, because you're supposed to have a psalm at some point in the service. In addition to that, or kind of in conjunction with that, he believed that hymns need not be just expressions of the distant past, but rather he wanted to write hymns that were of his time and spoke to the people in his congregations directly. He wrote his text to fit the existing psalm meters and tunes that they were using, and so that way there'd be something familiar. Even though he's bringing in new texts, there'd be a familiar tune that would get attached to them. And they may not have been the tunes that we currently use for his hymns today. There are two versions of this particular hymn in our hymnal, number 298 and 299. The 298, which we'll be singing today, is in 4/4 and is more common in the United States, whereas 299 in 3/4 is more common in England. The tune here, set by Lowell Mason, American composer, is based on an old Gregorian chant, but with at the time, a more contemporary setting of it. And so I hope you enjoy it. This is number 298, When I Survey the Wondrous Cross.
When I survey the wondrous cross, on which the Prince of gain I count but loss, and pour contempt on all my pride. Forbid it, Lord, that I should
once again, that was number 298, When I Survey the Wondrous Cross. Thank you, Midge, for requesting that. All right, the next few we're going to do are hymns that are related to Earth Day. So we're going to start with one that is probably one of the most well-known hymns that is used for occasions such as these, or for appreciation of nature and of creation itself, is For the Beauty of the Earth, number 92, words by Folliot S. Pierpont. And here we've got music by Conrad Coker, which is the most popular tune for this text. Pierpont was an English poet, and this particular hymn is inspired by a view of the city of Bath, his hometown, on a spring day. Originally, it was in 8 stanzas, and over the years, it has undergone a number of alterations, many of which have been in consultation with Pierpont originally for different purposes. So there's been many number of texts that kind of fit this particular hymn. And one of the things that has changed over time is the refrain. And originally, let's see, so I can show it here. The current version that from our hymnal is, Lord of all, to thee we raise this our hymn of grateful praise. And originally, that grateful praise was a sacrifice of praise. And so the hymn has become much more generally about thanksgiving for creation and less about Christ's sacrifice specifically. And so let's see what else. The tune is that we use is called Dies, or Dies, written by Conrad Coker in 1838. This is the most popular version in the United States, although John Rutter, the British choral composer, wrote his own setting of a very popular anthem of this that is somewhat different. So in any case, without further ado, this is number 92, For the Beauty of the Earth.
For the beauty of the earth, for the glory of the skies, for the love which from our birth over and around us lies, Lord of all, to thee we raise this our hymn of grateful praise, for the beauty of each hour of the day and of the night, hill and vale and tree and flower, sun and moon and stars of light, Lord of all, to thee we raise this our hymn of grateful praise, for the joy of ear and eye, for the heart and mind's delight, for the mystic harmony linking sense to sound and sight, Lord of all, to thee we raise this our hymn of grateful praise, for the joy of human love, brother, sister, parent, child, friends on earth and friends above, for all gentle thoughts and mild, Lord of all, to thee we raise this our hymn of grateful praise, for the church that evermore lifteth holy hands above, offering up on every shore her pure sacrifice of love, Lord of all, to thee we raise this our hymn of grateful praise, for thyself best gift divine to the world so freely given, for that great love of thine, peace on earth and joy in heaven, Lord of all, to thee we raise
right. Once again, that was number 92, For the Beauty of the Earth, beloved hymn of our faith. And that's one I probably should go through and add some fermatas to the ends of those verses. I don't know why I don't have them in there, but gets a little tough keeping up with that hymn as it just goes along right into verse after verse after verse. All right, so the next hymn we're going to do is, where'd it go? This is a hymn we've done before. We did this, I believe, in the fall. This is number 2061, Praise Our God Above, subtitled Harvest Song. And this is words written by Chao Tzu-chen, Chinese pastor, and he was the first advocate for what he called a Chinese systematic theology. That is a theology that is not kind of Western-centric, but a theology centered contextually around Chinese culture. And as part of this, he wrote a number of hymns that are specifically hymns to relate to the Chinese people, as opposed to just bringing in Western hymns. And he had a number of philosophies for the hymns that he wrote and the hymns that he wanted to use. One is that hymns should be specific, so something for a specific purpose or have some sort of specific lesson within them. They should be concise, so not overly long. They should contain Chinese cultural identity, be based on the Bible, express sincere religious experiences, and should be in themselves a sermon or have a lesson involved. This particular hymn was written to connect to Chinese agricultural life, and specifically kind of the harvest season, but the original version actually references all four seasons in sort of the yearly cycle of everything. The translation doesn't quite do the same in an effort to be poetic in itself. It's not quite as literal a translation here. The tune comes from a Confucian chant, and so this is another choice that was made by Chao Tzu-chen to try to connect to Chinese culture. So once again, this is number 2061, Praise Our God Above.
Praise our God above, source of boundless love, spring, wind, summer rain, then the harvest grain, pearly rice and corn, fragrant autumn morn, though our work is hard, God gives us reward. God's care like a cloak wraps us humble folk, makes all green things grow, ripens what we sow. Through God we are strong, sing our harvest song, sing praise field and flower, praise God's mighty power.
All right, once again, so short and sweet, fits that kind of concise philosophy that he had towards hymn writing. Number 2061, Praise Our God Above by Chao Tzu-chen. All right, the next hymn we're going to do, this is another one we've done before, at least once. Number 86, Mountains Are All Aglow. Let's see. This one is a Korean hymn, so we're staying in East Asia here. This is describing autumn and is especially used as kind of a harvest hymn, but also you can think of it as a Thanksgiving hymn for creation. The text was written by Okim Lim, who studied at Nora Teachers College in Japan. At the time, Japan was occupying Korea at the time, and she later became a professor of literature as well as a dean of economics. So this is a literature professor as well as the dean of economics at Konkuk University in Korea. I think that's just extraordinary diversity of knowledge there that she had. This hymn first appeared in 1967 in the so-called Korean hymnal, and then was translated by Haejong Kim for the United Methodist hymnal in the 80s. The music is written by Jae-hoon Park, and so this is a original tune for this text. And he studied at the Tokyo Music School and the Central Theological Seminary in Seoul, and later became professor of music at Hanyang University in Korea. So this one can get a little bit quick, and the translation sometimes doesn't always flow quite as well as the original Korean. But I don't know Korean and haven't sung it before, and so I'm not gonna attempt to do that today. Though that might be a good challenge at. And I see Midge in the comments saying we're giving a nod to our Australian friends where it's turning towards autumn, and that is true. And so having this kind of harvest theme here kind of fits that for them. So here we go. This is "Mountains Are All Aglow" by Okin Lim and Jae-hoon Park.
Mountains are all aglow with autumn colors so bright. Rivers are filled with water, giving life to our days. Golden fields wave their praise to God's bountiful harvest. Gratefully skyward arising, hear our joyous songs of praise. Reaching far as earthly eyes can see, reaching far as humble hands can toil. Every harvest is from our Lord, every blessing is from our God. Praise for the harvest, thanks to our God. Praise for the harvest, give praise to God. Every land so abundantly rich the harvest meets. Every orchard is filled with luscious, ripe, and new fruit. Sun and rain by the Lord's design shall come at proper time. Working hard, God has given us reasons for deep gratitude. Reaching far as earthly eyes can see, reaching far as humble hands can toil. Every harvest is from our Lord, every blessing harvest is from our Lord. Every blessing is from our God. Praise for the harvest. Thanks to our God. Praise for the harvest. Give praise to God. Praise the Lord as we're planting God's own heap in each heart. God has sent sunshine and no rain, so the seedlings may grow. Desert lands which seem barren, flowers still might bloom. Trusting in God's promises, our thanks to God we will show. Reaching far as earthly eyes can see, reaching far as humble hands can toil. Every harvest is from our Lord, every blessing is from our God. Praise for the harvest, thanks to our God. Praise for the harvest, give praise to God.
Whew. I like that song a lot. I think it's really pretty. But it's hard to sing that wide range, and the quick tempo of it. That's a little bit tricky in English. All right, I'm gonna take a little breath there. After that one, let's see. The next one we're going to do today. So we're gonna go back towards the beginning. We're gonna touch on that. Isaac Watts again, who wrote the very first hymn we did. This one is number 152, I Sing the Almighty Power of God. This is another hymn of his. This hymn is, he was a very strong advocate for using song as an educational resource for children, not only for a way of getting them to be engaged in education, but also for a way for them to kind of internalize these things, because a song learned may be a song they sing to themselves at some point. All right. And so this is one of the few songs that survive or are commonly still used from one of his early children's hymnals that he put together. And here it's set to a traditional English melody that I think may be familiar. I think it's used for a number of hymns. And arranged here in our hymnal by the great British composer Ralph Vaughan Williams. So I hope you like it. Number 152.
I sing the almighty power of God that made the mountains rise, that spread the flowing seas abroad and built the lofty skies. I sing the wisdom that ordained the sun to rule the day. The moon shines full at God's command, and all the stars obey. I sing the goodness of the Lord, who filled the earth with food, who formed the creatures through the word and then pronounced them good. Lord, how thy wonders are displayed where'er I turn my eye.
So once again, that one was short and sweet. I sing the almighty power of God. I think having a shorter song like that is probably more useful as a educational tool for children in terms of memory, compared to some of the longer texts that we have in some of these hymns. So I thank you all once again for joining me on another half hour of singing today, celebrating Earth Day and Eastertide. We'll be back again next week. I think we'll be doing something. The specific thing I'm bringing in, we'll be doing a song from Messiah that has a same title as another hymn, Easter hymn. So we're kind of doing these a couple of pairings of similar texts. So I hope you'll tune in for that. That'll be a lot of fun. All right. So once again, if you have any requests, send them to me, Kyle at santaumc.org. And let's do our closing song. God be with you till we meet again. Once again, thank you for being here today. I will see you all next week, next Friday, for episode 49. Have a great week and a great weekend, and look forward to being with you again here next week. God bless you all.